And there might be no better evidence of this than the announcement we heard this morning from the CHIPS office and TSMC, including that includes a $25 billion announcement. Excited for this announcement. This is coming on the heels of Intel's announcement a couple weeks ago. We have always boasted a dynamic business climate, and I'm proud that in the first year of my administration, we continue that tradition. But I'm even more proud that we have made workforce development a central component of growing and attracting new business. In case you missed it, last month I announced a record job numbers with just over 80,000 jobs created in the first year of my administration. We were 4th in the nation for job growth, up from 11th in 2022. In 2023, the Arizona Commerce Authority helped close 37 foreign direct investment projects with 30 different companies. These projects represent $2.2 billion in investments and will create over 3,000 good-paying jobs for Arizonans. None of these achievements happened by accident. Around the world, industry's #1 priority is workforce, and in this area, Arizona can't be beat.
We're excited to use the Final Four as an opportunity to show off our great state. This time of year always brings great weather, but Arizona's strengths go far beyond our climate. We're also one of the fastest growing states and an emerging hub for the industries of the future. And the foundation for this success goes pretty far back. Companies like Motorola and Intel came to Arizona in the 60s and 70s, but we were sending astronauts to the moon with computers less powerful than your cell phone. That laid the foundation of the modern Arizona economy. This industrial base today supports defense companies like Raytheon, Boeing, Northrop Grumman, and Honeywell, as well as industries of the future like First Solar, Core Power, and Lucid. And it's why we've become a growing hub for semiconductor manufacturing, with TSMC choosing to locate their first US facility in Arizona and Intel announcing they're building 2 new manufacturing facilities in Chandler. Politicians have talked for years about bringing jobs and manufacturing back to America. We are actually doing it, and my focus is on maximizing that opportunity for Arizona because there is no better place for it. That's why, just a few months after being sworn into office, I worked to negotiate the $52 billion bipartisan deal to fund the CHIPS Act. It took 2 years to get it passed into law, and throughout that process, I worked closely with our economic development leaders here in Arizona to make sure that our final agreement would work for our state. And our work hasn't stopped now that the CHIPS Act was signed into law. My team continues to work together alongside Governor Hobbs and other local leaders to make sure that Arizona's businesses and research institutions are best positioned to compete for funding from the CHIPS Act programs. The good news is that the most advanced microchips in the world are now going to be made in Arizona. That means that you have a localized supply chain. It also means that you have a qualified workforce bolstered by our research institutions and community colleges. All of these can support other growing technology fields like battery storage and renewable energy. And the energy independence initiatives through the Inflation Reduction Act help make it even easier for renewable energy to grow in the United States, but particularly here in Arizona. Now, I also spend a lot of my time working to secure Arizona's water future. As I'm sure most of you have heard, Arizona and the West are facing serious water challenges right now, but there's no question that we will be able to overcome them. I secured $8 billion in the bipartisan infrastructure law for Western water, including efforts to improve conservation in agriculture and supporting investments in smart water, desalinization, and water recycling technologies. And I secured an additional $4 billion in the Inflation Reduction Act to help the Bureau of Reclamation increase conservation to keep more water in our reservoirs. Thanks to these investments and the collaborative work of Arizona's state and local leaders, businesses and communities in Arizona won't see a disruption to their water deliveries. Maybe it's because I worked at NASA, but I strongly believe there is no country in the world that's better at solving big engineering challenges than the United States. Western water will be no different. So thank you again for allowing me to speak to all of you today. And please always consider me and my staff as a resource, and know that I'm committed to working hard to keep growing Arizona's economy into the future. Thank you.